Have you ever heard yourself saying, "Oh, I would feel so much better if I could get this or that, or if I saw myself driving this car." These are what we call greed or lust. And there's nothing wrong with wanting things. But when that desire is overcoming you and your happiness, there's a problem there. And we want to figure out how to let it go, or make sure it doesn't take over all of your thinking. See, when we focus on wanting, it keeps our attention off of what makes us and keeps us happy. Imagine how you go through a day and focus on all the things you want instead of being thankful for what you have. Example wants include sex, exciting food, keeping or not losing money, or anything else. And this impulse of feeling of wanting or holding on to creates tension, stiffness in our mind and in our body. And also, this can be something like where you don't want to let go of something. You want to keep holding on to people or other objects that are just cluttering up your life. It meant something at one point in time, but now it doesn't. And then all it is just clutter. Things that are just junking up and cluttering up your life. And yes, this can be people too. I hate to say it, but some people that just are not making your quality of life any better. And it may be time to let go of those feelings. Think about that one relationship or that one friendship that just got away. Now, if someone's drifted away, that's fine. Rekindle that relationship. But if you're lusting after that relationship, and then that's not helping you live a life. See, what we want to do is, in this session, we're going to identify that greed or lust or wanting or holding on to, that impulse that goes through your primitive brain, and what it does is it will hold your attention on something that's negative instead of allowing you to be free and clear to think of what you want. And this is what we call an adversity. The most successful people in the world have trained themselves through practice. It doesn't come natural. It's not easy. But they've trained themselves to see every adversity as coming with an equal or opposite opportunity that has a more or better value or benefit. And if you can make this a habit, it'll make you successful beyond your imagination. So let's jump into it. Give me your email address so I can send you your responses. Okay. And this agreed explanation is in this video. And remember, save this link so you can rate yourself again in 2 days. Okay, so that's your responsibility, so you can benefit. Now here are all the 5 distractions: anger, greed, sloth, worry, doubt. And right now we've done anger in the last one, so if you didn't do that, back up in the videos. And then now we're looking at greed. So put your name in there. Other people will see your name, so use an alias. Okay, you get to see other people's names too, if you want. Okay, so now, 2-day greed awareness challenge. Your challenge is to become aware when you feel like that you're being greedy or wanting things and it's dominating your ideas and your thoughts and your consciousness. You're not being creative, you're not being open, you're not being clear. Well, this may be something wishing to be with someone who's not there. Like if you miss honey, that's okay, but not if it is overcoming all of or predominating all of your thoughts. The next one is wishing to have something you don't have. It's okay to want something, but if it's adversely dominating, then that's a problem, right? Or holding on to someone or something that you really don't need. That old shoebox full of stuff that you don't need, that cluttered closet. Get rid of them. You got the drawer full of stuff that's not being used, dump it. Okay? And keep it on something that you really want, but you don't really need it. That old book, that old DVD. DVDs are out now. Okay? So what you want to do is for the next 2 days, watch that greed impulse, and then that feeling comes through. What it's going to come through your primitive brain. And your primitive brain only knows emotion. And so that's the impulse it's going to fire. And so you want to notice it, first of all. Okay? Then name it. Okay, yeah, it's like I'm feeling wanting this. Okay, and naming it is this is greed. And rate it on the greed impulse from the primitive brain. Oh, my primitive brain says it's, on a scale of 1 to 10, it was a 12. I need that car so bad, or I want to be with that person so badly. Right? Then, once your logical brain gets to it, wait a minute, that's not so bad after all. Okay, and then re-rate it. Then ask yourself, compared to, how bad is this greed adversity? Compared to the worst thing that could happen in your life. What's the worst thing that could happen? Right? Dying in a fiery car crash, is it as bad as getting rid of that old shoebox full of junk? Okay? And then, now, rate yourself. Okay? Answer the question, how can I find an opportunity that has an equal or greater benefit? What this does is it starts you to start looking for that opportunity that could make things better. Now here's the process. Go ahead and answer these. You can look over them now and then take 2 days and then come answer them later. Remember, keep the URL so you can keep this. Okay. Now, be careful, because there's times when we start to think, label, okay, my greed, my lust, my holding on to. And these are just thoughts. They're not who you are. So keep that in mind, because once we start being able to separate that, this gives us that freedom. And you don't want these thoughts to rule your life and become labels that rule your behavior. Okay. So think of this next 3-step process is, think of a time in the past when you were greedy and it ruined your day, week, month. Okay. Then how can you use the process, the above process, if you have that experience back then? If you had this process, how would it have helped you be happier in your life? And then what would be the benefit of doing that? Okay. So in conclusion, we've talked about this distraction called greed and how it can make you tense, some of the characteristics of it. And then we also showed you a process of going through and really looking at that greed, and instead of seeing that adversity, looking for that opportunity of equal or greater benefit. And we also looked at the benefit process of how you could use that in the past and what value it would be. Now, next time, we're going to look at sloth. Sloth, meaning I feel too tired. When's the last time you said to yourself, oh, I don't feel like doing it, or I feel too tired, I don't want to start it. That's what we mean by sloth. So that's what we're getting into. Oh, and if you could, please, go ahead and rate this exercise. Tell me what was valuable for you, because that helps me help you in the future exercises. But remember to check your email so you can get these responses and you can give them to, you can rework your answers and post them to help other people improve their lives. So thanks a lot, and we will see you in the next session when we talk about sloth.